catch it on the YouTube video, and I really appreciate all the love and support. I'm just having to come through a little bit more with my YouTube content and just my social media content in general. Just got a brand new house, so I'm still trying to get to the process of kind of piecing everything together. But I appreciate all the patience that each and every one of you have had so far with my content because I am trying to do as much as I can on social media, just trying to do the best I can. But if you have any questions so far about anything on my social media accounts before we get started, always feel free to DM my Instagram account, Norvell Central, or my Twitter account, Central Norvell, and I'll definitely answer anything you got. But let's go ahead and get straight into this. So you look at the recruiting class in Florida State so far with the 25 class. So far, they have 27 is the composite ranking they have according to 247 Sports. And that is a little bit more concerning to some of the fan base because you want to see commits. You want to see some of these visits going through, and you're seeing other prospects being crystal balled elsewhere. And it's kind of all over the place right now. You're seeing your rivals getting a couple of guys here and there. You're seeing guys going to Penn State, Alabama, Auburn, all over the place. And it comes in a vicious cycle every single year as we turn out that Florida State is going to get a lot of these recruits, mostly in the summer when some of these official visits and everything kind of processes through. But just overall, though, I'm not going to say it's all sunshine and rainbows because the staff does need to do a little bit better of a job in terms of establishing those relationships and being able to stay firm and not allowing some of these prospects to be able to visit other places. I know they want to have the right fit to Florida State, but there is a point and process where they want to make sure that these elite prospects are coming to Tallahassee and they're not going to go elsewhere. So, of course, when we look at this as we go through, Florida State has not had a commit since January when Javion Hilson, a very, very talented defensive end prospect out of Cocoa, is actually going to Florida State and flipping from Alabama to Florida State after the new coaching staff and Nick Saban retired. So, of course, you're trying to find other pieces that Florida State wants to get. And the trenches are a big, big thing in terms of this recruiting class. But in this video, we're going to talk about 3 prospects that I think that Florida State stands a very, very good shot at in terms of that. So you're going to look at the first prospect that we're going to talk about is 4-star defensive tackle Myron Charles. This is a guy that Florida State really likes out of Port Charlotte, Florida. He has visited Florida State many, many times. Odell absolutely loves him. He's came in on just talking about that Florida State is a top school for him at this point. And he didn't really say a definite commit timetable right now, but I do know that considering the spring game is coming up on April 20th, that is going to be something you're going to have to watch for, especially with him. He might go ahead and go through the summer, but I definitely think that Florida State can definitely continue to push for his services, and that would be a massive get in terms of just the development of the defensive tackle position to try to do that because you have guys like Joshua Farmer and Darryl Jackson. You have also some other pieces like Daniel Lyons and some other pieces as well, but just overall in terms of that defensive tackle room, Odell does a tremendous job in terms of developing and evaluating those talents and getting them in. Biggest thing is trying to recruit those guys in and going ahead and kind of get through that new age of technology and trying to get through that vulnerability that he has in terms of his age and trying to get those limitations to be able to recruit at a high level. And I think you can be able to do that with some help, but I'm definitely excited to see how Charles is going to go through his senior season and hopefully he can be able to wear the garnet and gold because that would be massive for Florida State in terms of just the trenches overall because I think this is where this class is going to have to go in the direction of, and most of their construction is going to have to be in the trenches. We're going to go to another one in 4-star linebacker Tavon Wallace. He's from Georgia. I think this is a guy that Florida State's been on for quite some time. And yes, it is a linebacker prospect. I know that Randy Shannon has gotten some flat back from some of the fan base, of course, with his recruiting efforts that he's had before. We looked at, Blake Nicholson, for example, was a 4-star prospect that Florida State signed in the last recruiting class, in the 23 class. And you thought about how Derek Ray was the main reason for that because of his relationship with his family. He had come from the California area, around that area over there. But just super excited to see how this linebacker group continues to develop. You already got a guy in Ethan Pritchard that you've already got committed to the program. You're going to probably have to get 1 or 2 more linebackers in this cycle because, as we know, this upcoming season, you're going to have to replace the likes of Caleb DeLoach and Tatum Bethune. So really just kind of figuring out what you're going to do with that position. And I think Tavon Wallace, because he has visited Florida State many times, he's got other schools like Florida that's also involved as well. But if Florida State can continue to push that envelope of being able to get him to commit, that would be a fantastic get for Florida State as we go through here. The last guy I want to talk about, and this is just more defense, is going to be 4-star cornerback Gregory Thomas. He's from American Heritage. Patrick Surtain was a big guy in terms of getting him in and building that connection with him as he was a former head football coach at American Heritage. So it is kind of important to really note that. I mean, he's 6'2", can play a little bit more safety as well. So I think Florida State likes him at both cornerback and safety. So that could be a versatile secondary piece that Florida State likes to do. You notice that Adam Fuller runs a 4-2-5 defensive scheme. He runs a lot of defensive backs and interchanges those guys to make sure they're fresh and making sure they're ready to go. I definitely think that Gregory Thomas is a guy that's visited Florida State many times. He has already indicated that Florida State is one of his top schools. And unfortunately, I did speak to him the other day, and he talked about how he was not going to be coming into the spring game. So, of course, teams like Clemson and some other teams as well are going to be on the top of his radar. But he is going to be visiting on that last official weekend in June when all of those commits are coming in. And Florida State has with Hilson, Jones as well, Pritchard, and then also Solomon Thomas is also coming in. So they're going to be putting the recruiting hat on for guys like Xavier Thomas as well. So we're definitely going to see how this all pans out. But I definitely think those three prospects are going to be really, really big in discussion in terms of securing a great class for Florida State. I think this is a nice building block for what Florida State can bring, especially on the defensive side of the ball. But if you have any other questions or anything, feel free to reach out to me. Be sure to comment, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get as much content as we possibly can on the YouTube side of things. I'm trying to get back to the swing of things. I think this is going to be a happy medium for us as we kind of continue to go through. Recruiting has got a huge impact on this program, firm foundation, and making sure everything can go right for this program. And I think Florida State has a chance to get a top 10 class in this cycle. But if you need anything, just feel free to let me know. And I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the day, and go Noles.